Hello everybody, welcome to LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga. This is the Let's Play, I'm your host Jackson Tyler. There are only 2 episodes left. 2 more times to chat about this game and chat about Star Wars as a whole and just talk about things that are cool and nerdy as fuck, I guess. I don't know. I don't like Star Wars as a thing. It is only through doing this project that I have actually come to really appreciate it. Like, before now I would have said, Star Wars is okay at best, but now I finally understand that the prequel trilogy is like not the prequel trilogy. Prequel trilogy is pure garbage, always has been. But because of when I grew up, like, Star Wars was this very different thing to what, like, the original thing was. So I was only able to see those first movies through that perspective. And then last time when I watched them, I don't know, I've changed a lot, and I appreciate what those movies do now. So maybe a lot of movies I've come around on. I don't know. We'll see. Tastes grow, tastes change. Maybe I'll hate them again in a year. But these 3 movies are all pretty good, even if they present a bunch of interesting problems as they go on, especially structurally in this movie. But the best part of it is the battle between Jedi and the Sith. No. I don't even think they say the Sith. It's Jedi and the dark side of the Force. Like, at no point do they call him a Sith Lord. I'm fairly sure that's an entirely new invention. Maybe it was in the expanded universe as well, because he's not a Sith Lord. He's a Jedi who had been turned to the dark side. Sith Lord. What is that? I'm writing a sci-fi script at the moment, and I'm terrible at coming up with names for anything. Like, I hate it. I hate coming up with names. I hate coming up with any jargon. I actually hate all the sci-fi part, turns out. But one thing I can hold as a dear comfort to me is that no matter how bad I think I am at naming things, George Lucas is worse. And Star Wars is pretty popular, so I've got nothing to lose. But the best part of the film is the battle between... it's really a battle between Luke and the Emperor for Vader. And that's how the entire film is framed. And I don't mean the battle itself, the fighting is not good. Who cares about that? That's like a conduit to express it. The battle starts when the movie starts. There's a deleted opening in which Vader calls out to Luke and says, "Join me," whatever, and then Luke clearly hears him. And it gives the film better bookends, because the film has the kind of weak opening that Empire has. Oh, holy shit, is this happening now? This isn't what happens at all. No, I'm annoyed that they've changed this. We don't fight the Emperor together. I understand the gameplay reasons why they've done that, but Luke fights Vader. The Emperor never gets his lightsaber out. This change is probably worse than having... than having Yoda with his lightsaber in this game, because at least that's because they needed a model and you don't have to use it. I wish they'd kept the format of this battle. I understand why they haven't. It's very difficult to turn to a game, especially a co-op one, but I feel like with a bit more trust in their audience, these games could have switched from just being games based off this series that you play levels on into having these moments of roleplay where you recreate the scene. I clearly need to build the other thing that's... There we go. I got it. I'm the best. Because you're not here to have a good fight time. You're here to just do things and have Star Wars stuff happen. And allowing you to like recreate the moments yourself would have been a powerful thing. Like, I mean, like, amazing or anything, but it would have been really cool. Where's the Emperor gone? Because in the... Oh, shit. In the movie, the Luke and Vader fight is incredible. Like, the way... Shit. I'm going to switch to Luke. I'm not going to switch to Luke. I'm going to switch back to Vader. I can't. Let's go back up. Run away, run away. Because the tension of that fight is even though this is the fight you have come to see, this is what you are here for, the big final climactic moment of the entire Star Wars saga. And the way they play it is that you're rooting for him to not fight. Now it's interesting that you're doing that because the Jedi that are in this movie, like Obi-Wan and Yoda, both say he has to kill Vader, and his training has to be like to allow him to get over the fact that he's his father, and like to not feel guilt about it and like not hesitate. So, but they're worried that like if he actually does go kill him, he will kill him in this like fit of anger and turn to the dark side. So you're actually hoping for him to. It's an impossible situation. And Luke's plan is to redeem Vader. And it's interesting that they like introduced that idea from the start. And it says a lot about like the construction of surprising moments. It's easy to think of a way they could have written this script in which Vader's eventual turn to the dark side is like slightly foreshadowed, but it's mostly left as a shock at the end. And you're like, oh shit! Vader turned on the Emperor. Oh shit! Hollywood Darth Vader is here. Vader's the third man. That's some wrestling jokes for you. There he is. But the fact that they don't do that and they allow it to be a possibility from the start is incredibly smart, and with how you write stories, like the idea that a story should have like shocking moments should be its whole point is wrong. Even the best shocking stories, like for example, I don't think Luke and my father is a massive moment, but granted, I didn't have that. Like I knew that, so I didn't care. But even moments like that are these really effective, like shocking reveals of twists, work because they're foreshadowed. Like the reason that twist works isn't because oh shit, he's his father. It's because throughout the movie, it's been hinted that like Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker are two sides of the same coin, and Luke doesn't want like it's this moment like oh no wait I am more similar to this person that's like evil lord that I have to kill than I thought. And while I thought that's a bit deterministic hero's journey, chosen one stuff, that's where the chosen one bullshit that I don't like about Star Wars comes in. It works and it has been set up, and I'm so glad they do that with this thing, because like the battle goes through so many phases. Like it starts and he just watches this death outside the window and he gets angrier and angrier and angrier, and as like everything gets too much and he's like angry for his friends, he strikes at the Emperor, and Vader comes to the Emperor's defense and they fight, and that's great. And then he actually beats Vader in this fit of anger and knocks off his arm, so he doesn't get a moment where it's like a cool victory, and the victory is he just sits there as the Emperor just pummels him. It's a really smart. It's smarter than I give Star Wars credit for, because I don't give it enough credit for being a cool like thing. I don't, in my head, because of where I come from with Star Wars, the values of Star Wars are not interesting and they're kind of vapid to me. That's because I'm a Star Trek guy. I can't help it, whatever. Because the values, that's where I got it's the sci-fi that taught me. The sci-fi that I latch onto for thematic and like philosophical stuff. I can look at that and say, I agree with a lot of this. This is interesting and speaks to my worldview. Whereas I didn't say that with Star Wars that much until now, until this stuff. This go through has been, and I feel like not just watching them and just trying to. I've been coming to them. I've been taking the time to analyze them and think about them, and therefore been coming up way more positive on them, which is great. But then that moment there in that final cutscene where Vader takes off his mask and redeems himself, it's just incredibly powerful an ending. And it's one of the more effective transformations of like villain into like Darth Vader is just pure evil in that first movie, and in the second movie he's kind of that as well. Like the whole thing that they are able to like take this character and redeem him so well isn't it's really impressive, and I can't think of any other. I can't think of many other terms like that. I can think of a few, but a lot of them are in TV shows. A lot of them are in episodic storytelling where arcs can flow far further, and it's amazing they were able to pull it off in, let's be real, just 2 movies, and barely 2 movies, like maybe 1.5 movies. I believe that Star Wars was kind of hodgepodge together. Like the stories about how they came up with the story to Return of the Jedi are amazing. Like it's so clear that not even this film was planned out. So all the things that Lucas said about my original villain are bullshit. They made up. Like originally Han Solo was going to die, Luke Skywalker was going to walk off alone, broken and defeated at the end, but a hero, like put through the ringer, and Leia was going to stay behind to lead and not be his sister, which would have been a far more better ending, but as Lucas said, there's no money in dead Han toys. And I think he's right. I actually think he's right. I don't think Star Wars would be the thing that it is if it ended in that amazing way. I honestly don't. Like, that celebration ending and is key to getting everyone back on board. It'd have been a more well-esteemed franchise, but it wouldn't have been the marketing juggernaut that it has. Like, George Lucas is smart. And he has remained smart. And I think it's wrong to discredit him from that. It's a smartness that I don't care for. It's like capitalistic and like uninteresting in an artistic sense. But it's smart. It's super smart. The guy knows what he's doing. And there's a reason Star Wars still is popular. And he is a big part of that reason. He doesn't just mess things up. I'm actually interested to see how it goes without him, because I associate Star Wars with George Lucas in this like real permanent way, and part of me feels sad that it has been ripped from his fingers. For as much as those changes in the special editions are all terrible, and we should have the original prints all remastered and on Blu-ray, it's definitely something. I imagine George Lucas sitting in his home, watching everyone be excited for him being like, everyone was excited for him to be gotten rid of. What does that do to a person? I don't know. It's sad. The whole thing's sad. The whole capitalism ruins art, and capitalism ruins artists. This is the sad truth. And if you don't watch out, capitalism will ruin you. Right. Well, that's enough of that. Tomorrow is the grand finale. What's it called? Is it called Death Star Run? Into the Death Star. Okay, here we go. Come back tomorrow for the big finale of LEGO Star Wars. I don't know what I'm talking about. I feel like today's been the big final talk. Hey, Palpatine. I missed. Bye, everyone. Bye, everyone. I am excited. Goodbye.